Welcome to class, students. Today, we'll be looking at a very important topic titled Biological Hazards. Introduction. Biological hazard, commonly referred to as biohazard, is a biological substance that poses significant threat to the health and well-being of living organisms, with particular concern for human health. This hazard manifests in various forms and can cause a spectrum of adverse health effects ranging from mild illness to severe disease or death. Definition: biological hazard constitutes any biological material including microorganisms, viruses, toxins and organic substances that can adversely affect human or animal health through various exposure routes. These substances become particularly concerning in environments where exposure is frequent or concentrated, such as occupational setting, healthcare facilities, laboratories and agricultural environments. What are the four types of biological hazards? We have the biological agents, we have the biotoxins, blood and blood products, environmental specimens. Biological agents, biotoxins, blood and blood products, environmental specimen. Biological agent: this category includes microorganisms capable of causing infection or disease, while examples are the bacteria, single-celled microorganisms that cause infection ranging from mild streptococcal throat infection to severe tuberculosis and anthrax. So we have the mild bacteria that are single-celled. Examples are the streptococcal throat infection, while to the severe ones are tuberculosis and anthrax. While viruses are microscopic infectious agents that replicate only within host cells, causing diseases such as influenza, HIV and AIDS, hepatitis and COVID-19. Have the parasites, organisms that live on or within a host organism, deriving nutrients at the host expenses. Examples are malaria, gardiasis and hookworms. Fungi, including yeast and mold that can cause respiratory condition, skin infection and allergic reaction. While with biotoxins, these are poisonous substances with biological origins produced by bacteria, plants, insects or animals. Examples include botulinum toxin, aflatoxin from moths, snake venoms and certain plant toxins can trigger inflammatory responses, neurological damage or organ failure depending on the specific toxin. Blood and blood products. While not inherently hazardous, this material presents significant risk when contaminated. Whole blood from infected sources. Blood components: these are the red, the white and the plasma. These are examples of blood and blood products are the whole blood from infected sources. Blood components: red cells, white cells, plasma and platelets, tissues and other bodily fluid containing blood. Primary concerns include transmission of blood-borne pathogens like HIV and hepatitis viruses. We have the environmental specimens: natural materials that may harbor biological hazard, soil containing pathogenic bacteria or fungi, water contaminated with disease-causing organisms, plant materials harboring allergens or toxins, animal specimen potentially carrying zoonotic diseases. Employer responsibilities. Organizations have significant obligations regarding biological hazard management, conducting a comprehensive risk assessment of potential biological exposures, so implementing appropriate control measures following the hierarchy of controls, providing adequate potential protective equipment when necessary, and delivering thorough education and training on biological hazard recognition and self-work practices, establishing exposure monitoring and health surveillance programs while appropriate, developing emergency response protocol for accidental exposure. So these are the employer's responsibility. Let's take it again. While conducting comprehensive risk assessment of potential biological exposure, like conducting a comprehensive assessment of the biological exposure, implementing appropriate control measures following the hierarchy of control. Then you provide adequate potential po- po- adequate personal protective equipment as PPE when necessary, delivering thorough education and training on biological hazard recognition and safe work practice, then establishing exposure monitoring and health surveillance programs where appropriate, developing emergency response protocol for accidental exposure. So environmental specimen, according to the World Health Organization Laboratory Biosafety Manual 4th edition, risk groups 1 to 4 pertain to the following. We have risk group 1, 2, 3 and 4. Risk group 1 is low to no individual or community risk. Risk, risk group 2 is moderate individual risk or low community risk. Risk group 3 high individual risk or low community risk, while risk group 4 high individual and community risk. Risk group 1 low to and no individual or community risk. Biological agents or organisms that are unlikely to cause diseases to healthy animals or humans. While risk group 2 moderate individual risk or low group community. Pathogens that are likely to cause disease to humans or animals but have minimal potential to be serious hazard to the workers, community or the environment. Risk group 3 high individual risk or low community risk. Pathogens causing serious disease to humans or animals that don't typically spread from one infected individual to another, for which preventive and treatment measures may be present. Risk group 4 high individual and community risk. Pathogens causing serious disease to humans or animals that are directly or indirectly transmittable and for which preventive and treatment measures may not be available. Risk group classification system, that is types of biological hazard. To facilitate proper identification and management of biological hazard, a formalized risk group classification system has been developed for biological agents. This hierarchical framework enables systematic assessment of potential threats posed by different biological agents, implementation of proportionate control measures aligned with risk severity, implement standardized communication about hazard potential across organization and jurisdiction, evidence-based allocation of resources from hazard mitigation, regulatory compliance with occupational health and safety standards. Transmission pathway. Biological hazard can enter human body through four primary routes. We have the inhalation, injection, and we have the cutaneous contact. In inhalation, breathing in airborne pathogens, spores or organic dust. Respiration of aerosolized particles containing infectious agents, spores or biological toxins which can penetrate the respiratory tract at varying depth depending on particle size. Injection. Cutaneous introduction of biological agents through needles, sticks, cuts, puncture wounds, injuries, sharp exposures, animal bites or broken skin, bypassing external defense mechanism. Injection. Consuming contaminated food, water or accidentally transferring pathogens from hands to mouth. Consumption of contaminated materials through direct oral exposure or indirect hand to mouth transfer following contact with a contaminated surface. Cutaneous contact, direct exposure through intact or compromised skin, allowing certain biological agents to penetrate dermal barrier or cause localized reaction. Others include skin contact, mucous membrane exposure. Skin contact is direct contact with pathogens that can penetrate intact or broken skin. Then mucous membrane exposures, contact with eyes, nose or mouth. Factors influencing infection risk are microbial load, vir virulence characteristics, host susceptibility and environmental stressors. So microbial load, this concentration of organisms present in the environment with higher concentration generally increasing transmission probabilities. Virulence characteristics is the inherent pathogenicity and disease-causing potential of the specific biological agent, including its invasiveness and toxin production capabilities. Or susceptibility, individual factors affecting resistance, including immune competence, vaccination status, age, underlying health condition and genetic predispositions. Environmental stressors, physical and chemical conditions that may enhance pathogen survival, promote transmission, compromise host defenses or increase exposure likelihood. Principles of biological hazard. We have two fundamental tenets. We have the universal precaution principle and the precautionary approach. And in the universal precautionary principle, and any incident involving biological materials carries infection potential regardless of the perceived risk level. Therefore, appropriate preventive measures must always be implemented, while the precautionary approach, when working with biological materials of unknown or incompletely characterized epidemiology or etiology, this substance must be presumed hazardous and handled with corresponding safeguard until proven otherwise. So prevention against infection or contamination of food, there are systematic food handling protocols, rigorous personal hygiene requirements, health monitoring programs, temperature control protocols, thermal processing standard. Thank you for listening.